What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and I just finished up watching Sergey Kovalev versus Tervel Pulev, and this was a 10-rounder in the cruiserweight division, and this fight was Saturday, May 14th, from the Forum in Inglewood, California, and this fight was broadcasted on Fight TV, and in this fight, Sergey Kovalev was able to get a unanimous decision victory over Tervel Pulev. So Sergey Kovalev, he really looked very solid in this fight, considering it was his first ever fight at cruiserweight. The judges had scores of like 97-93 and 98-92. Kovalev, he looked really solid, as opposed to being the crusher that we normally see that Kovalev is by coming forward and dominating his opponents. He used that amateur boxing skill that he does possess, and he just really outboxed Tervel Pulev. And I had this bout scored 97-93. So, yeah, and just to break it down, it was really very similar rounds throughout. The thing is, Kovalev looked very, very smooth, looked very calm, looked big, looked strong. This was like a really solid performance by him. I thought that he wasn't going to be able to handle that 200-pound power that Pulev does possess, but he did, and he boxed beautifully in this fight. So, really every single round, aside from a couple where maybe Pulev did better, coming forward, because Pulev was really primarily trying to rough up Kovalev and come forward and land some big punches, specifically early on. But Kovalev would keep him at bay with the jab. Occasionally he would come forward himself, and that's for Kovalev. So Kovalev really fought an excellent fight. He was boxing. We got to see him come forward a bit. He really was fighting in numerous ways, but it was all good on his part, as he was able to get the victory, and it was in very good fashion. So Kovalev started to really run away with the fight. Early on, you could have given Pulev one round, middle rounds maybe as well. Same with the late rounds, because Pulev wasn't really specifically winning rounds in different instances of the fight. Like occasionally, he might have a little bit more success in this round, which is a round that Kovalev might have taken off a bit. But really, it was Sergey Kovalev really dominating throughout the fight with his boxing ability, also coming forward a bit as well. But still, Kovalev really fought very nicely in this fight. And so that gets into the question, what is next for Sergey Kovalev, now at 200 pounds? Being that other fighters that have moved up to cruiserweight recently, specifically someone named Badu Jack. Badu Jack, he fought on Triller before on I believe the Jake Paul undercard, or the Mike Tyson undercard actually, and yeah, I think that, if they're able to get Badu Jack back on Triller, I think they're able to make Sergey Kovalev versus Badu Jack, which would be like a battle of two former light heavyweights who just moved up to cruiserweight, which would be very, very interesting. Maybe they could get Sergey Kovalev in there with someone like Mike Perez, like someone that's not been in cruiserweight or Mike Perez obviously has, but he's someone who's just outside the top 15, as opposed to getting Kovalev in there with someone who's an established, like, top 5 cruiserweight contender. I know BoxRec has Kovalev now, like, number 4, and they have, like, Badu Jack, like, 7, maybe around there. So, these guys have been getting these wins, and they're rising up in the rankings, so I could definitely see Kovalev facing, like, Badu Jack, maybe someone like a Mike Perez, but someone decent in the cruiserweight division in his next fight. But as for Tervel Pulev, losing here for the first time in his career, losing by unanimous decision, he simply just got a bit outboxed in this one. He's still actually a very decent fighter, if I'm going to be 100% honest, but he got outboxed by the former light heavyweight champion. What could I say? So I think in his next fight, he's going to take sort of a little bit of a layoff, because he's not really the most active fighter compared to other fighters in the game. So I think he's going to take like a 9, maybe 10-month layoff before taking on like another opponent. And I think that opponent will be like a lower ranked fighter, like someone who's really relatively unknown in the game, as opposed to fighting someone like a Kovalev again. But he'll most likely take on a lower level fighter before maybe stepping it up a bit and continuing on to move up in his career, even though he's sort of aging with only like 17 fights. So overall, Sergey Kovalev defeats Tervel Pulev by unanimous decision, where he uses boxing and skill to get his first ever win in the cruiserweight division. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.